have dreamed of this day since I watched my first Greenstone. Year after year, amazing stories and journeys have been shared to a full house of people in the Sun Cup, clapping and cheering seniors on. And every time I left the space, I felt that I'd learned something new and inspiring. And finally, 2020 is here. It's my year. But there is so much that is different and out of my control. There isn't a Sun Cup full of people smiling encouragingly, and everything that I thought I knew has changed. I couldn't have anticipated so many changes, but I did know one thing. I wanted to set aside that activist image that I'm known for and reveal a new part of myself. I was originally going to come up here to talk about dance, about my love and passion for it. It's something that could be so beneficial to society for our mental, physical, emotional, and even spiritual well-being. Trust me, I had a whole bunch of fun doing research on that topic. But as I'm learning, not everything goes as planned. I've been on an emotional roller coaster, changing my Greenstone from something I was passionate about to something that seriously changed my life. One morning in October 2018, I woke up and I felt like I was having a bad day. I felt stiff and it hurt to move. I was exhausted and moody and just uncomfortable, no matter what I did. But I just shrugged it off. We all have those days. But then I got more bad days, and more, and more, and more, until they all rolled one into the next, and I simply couldn't ignore them anymore. I just didn't have the energy to get out of bed or smile for anyone. And this was the start of a year-long journey to figure out what was wrong with me. I went from clinic to clinic, hospital to hospital, trying to figure it out. But even medical professionals had difficulty. So as a patient, not being able to know what's going on inside of your own body is so confusing and overwhelming. But by November 2019, after what felt like 100 different tests, I finally got my diagnosis. Did you know that there are 5 million people around the world who live with SLE, systemic lupus erythematosus, or more commonly known as just lupus? On November 21st, I officially became a part of the 150,000 annual diagnosis in Indonesia. It turns out there isn't a simple test that you can take that says, yup, you're lupus positive or lupus negative. And getting my diagnosis took me 13 months, but I was one of the lucky ones. For most people, it takes an average of 6 years and 3 doctors to find out if they have lupus. Can you imagine? There are 13 symptoms officially, but you only need 4 to get diagnosed. But because the combinations are endless and can mimic many other diseases, it makes it a complicated case to confirm. Now, not only that, but most people with autoimmune disorders don't even look sick. I mean, hello, I think I'm looking pretty good. For those of you who are wondering, what exactly is lupus? Well, simply put, it's an autoimmune disease that causes the human immune system to attack itself, and it ranges from mild to severe cases where organs can be threatened. In the process of that, it destroys your own body's tissues. But the worst part is that it's not always constant, and it can come without warning. You control your body and yourself, and you get sick. You control again and get sick again. It's like a glitch in a computer system, except it's not. The glitch is in my body. The reality for me was that I could have multiple symptoms hit me at any time and in any combination. I didn't want to share this with too many people, but the truth was, and still remains, that on any given day, I can suffer from swollen and inflamed joints causing immense pain, migraines, fatigue, kidney infections, fevers, and yes, there were more smaller things like hair loss, frequent UTIs, butterfly rash, sensitivity to sunlight, and mouth blisters. At this point, who really cares about losing some hair? I'm a teenager, of course I do. From the long list of symptoms, you can ask any patient, and 90% of the time, you'll hear that joint pain is the worst symptom by far. All of this was so disturbing. And I stand here now with a smile on my face and a tough, brave girl act. But there are days where I can't even tell whether my ankles are inflamed because they're swollen so often that that's become the new norm. Or that I am exhausted after 16 hours of sleep. Or that when I wake up without one of my daily migraines or headaches, I think that something else must be wrong. How messed up is that? I never feel comfortable in my own body anymore. But I downplayed everything to my friends and family because I didn't want to come across as a burden. In the world of modern medicine, lupus is an incurable disease. I'm only 17. Are you kidding me? The doctors told me that the best modern medicine could do came in the form of corticosteroids. So I took them at first because I thought, amazing, one pill to fix all my problems? Yes, please. Except that I was put on a 32 milligram per day dosage, which caused my weight to increase, migraines to increase, and as if I, a 17-year-old, needed any more hormonal imbalance, they were sent into overdrive. My emotions exploded. I became more angry, upset, tearful, snappy, and frustrated. I am angry and upset that this has happened to me. Before lupus, I was known to be reliable, cheerful, and available for anyone who needed me. Since the age of 10, I was an activist in the limelight. I was always expected to know what to say on stage, in a camera, or in an interview. Add to that the pressure of school, friends, boyfriends, being a little sister, graduation, and bam, lupus. I couldn't take it anymore, and my entire life flared up. You can ask my friends and family. The first few months after my diagnosis was just plain horrible. I became a bit of a rebel. I felt that getting diagnosed with lupus had limited me in so many ways that when someone told me I couldn't or shouldn't do something, for the first time ever, I wanted to do it. I felt like everyone around me was so concerned that I would do something to make my condition worse, but that just made me feel controlled and like I didn't have my own life anymore. And what I came to learn was that I didn't rebel just because I was angry. I was acting out because I felt like I was stuck in an endless cycle, and it felt hopeless. I knew the medication wasn't working enough. Because on top of the large dose of steroids I was given, I was also prescribed an immunosuppressant to stop my immune system from destroying itself, and antibiotic and antiviral medication to help with my frequent infections. But as a result of taking this much medication, I got way more side effects than healing effects. So I was still not 100% healthy, and my body was once again telling me something wasn't working. This is not how I want to go through my life. And so I decided to change my mindset. Instead of being a victim of this disease, I wanted to take my power back and go on a journey to see how I could control and manage my health in other healing methods. I stopped relying on only modern medicine and turned to holistic medicine. In the past few months, I decided to use my body as a sort of petri dish in a science experiment and try lots of different things to help me on my health journey. Methodologies including Ayurveda, acupuncture, diet change, movement and exercise, and stress mitigation. One thing that I felt was missing from this entire experience was a peer, a role model. Somebody to look up to that was going through the exact same thing. And that's when my Greenstone changed to understanding how to live with lupus and how to take people through that journey. You know that saying, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade? Well, when life gives you lupus, I'm not sure yet, but I'm beginning to have an idea. So I documented everything to make a short vlogging series and set up a YouTube channel for people who live with lupus, or not, and are just curious on what it's like to live with an autoimmune disorder. Here's a little snippet. Hi, hi, hi. And how do I do the top one? Hi, you're watching Living with Lupus. My name is Isabel Wijsen, and for the past 6 months, I've been on a journey to see how I can control and manage my health with holistic medicine. I've tried Ayurveda, acupuncture, diet changes, movement and exercise, breathwork, and all these other amazing forms of holistic medicine. Come with me on this journey to learn some new things for the both of us, some fun facts, and just have a good time and see what it's like to live with lupus as a 17-year-old. Wow, did I learn a lot on the journey of making those vlogs. The first stop on that journey, Ayurveda. It's a 3,000-year-old Indian medical method that is known to work miracles and wonders. I was intrigued by its philosophy to treat the whole body and not just the symptoms like Western medicine. So after flying to India and having 10 days of a strict diet, countless massages, milk baths, oil drips, and herbal detoxes, I felt energized and hopeful. But immediately stepping out of the clinic, my body reacted in another flare-up. And I realized that this practice of Ayurveda takes months, years even, to properly practice. But I wasn't sure I was that patient. And that's when we got to stop number 2, diet change. Upon arriving back in Bali, my next option was to try changing my food consumption. So after doing lots of research and reading many books, it seemed that the only foods I could eat were spinach and lettuce. This was because everyone in every resource said something different, and I was just so confused. So I decided to eliminate the staples, foods like gluten, carbohydrates, high citric levels, processed foods, and refined sugars. And when it came to other foods, I just had to experiment and pay attention to the symptoms. Through that, I learned that everybody and every body is different. What works for me might not work for you. I had to listen to my body, my gut, to know what was good for me to eat. But my body was still telling me that there was more I could do. And that's when we got to stop number 3, breath work. This uses your energy and higher oxygen levels in your body to help you feel more energized, healthy, happy, and clear-minded. And that's not just my opinion, but it's even scientifically proven. I found that taking the 15 minutes out of your day to focus on breath work helped me set way more positive intentions for the day ahead. Our bodies are truly incredible. It's almost as if we have everything we need to heal already inside us. But it still all took way too long, and that's when we got to stop number 4, acupuncture. It's also a 3,000-year-old method, but it's a branch of traditional Chinese medicine, and it uses needles to puncture your skin and stimulate certain energy lines, organs, or body systems. I go twice a week, and for the most part, it got rid of my headaches, it brought down my inflammation, and it helped get rid of my frequent kidney issues. So acupuncture had the fastest results in holistic medicine, at least for me. And I actually enjoyed doing this. Now, of course, I know that these aren't the only types of holistic medicine. I tried many more in my vlogs, and I'm sure as time goes by, I will try many more. So I stand here today, and I don't have all the answers. But that's okay. After all, I only did just get diagnosed 7 months ago. But in my short time of being part of the Lupus Club, there is one thing that I have concluded in experiencing all of these holistic treatments. Healing only happens when you look inward, when you are in line with the intentions and values in your life. Holistic medicine changes the entire narrative we were taught. Instead of only turning towards pills and doctor prescriptions, we have to be able to understand our own unique bodies. Everything we need is already in us. We were born with it. And when we can understand that, we can take control of our own health and become our best healer. So I want to take a moment here to say in all seriousness, please don't wait until you have a chronic or lifelong disease to remind yourself that you are a priority. So, the moral of my story is that everything happens for a reason. Good things and bad things. And sometimes it's not that simple. Good things can be bad things, and bad things can turn into good things. At first, lupus felt like a slap in the face. But since then, it has taught me more about myself and will continue to do so. But this wouldn't have happened without lupus. Lupus changed my life. And I wouldn't think like this if it wasn't for my amazing support system that has stuck with me throughout all the emotional meltdowns, sad moments, and also the good times. So thank you to all of you, but especially to my mom and dad. I love you. But now, I realized that suddenly, unexpectedly, I had my very own personal built-in barometer that taught me when there was an imbalance in my health. And this forced me to confront and fix those problems when normally I would not have been so brave. In the end, my bad news activated something inside me. And my desire now is to help people along their health journey. I'm excited to start with my blogs, to create an online space where we don't feel like we're alone, but like there is a community out there to speak out and share what we're going through, unfiltered. Creating a space where we as patients realize we have power in our diagnosis. So to go back to that quote, when life gives you lupus, stare at it right in the face and say, thank you.